Right, let's just have a little bit of a wander around. We are waiting for it to go a bit more dusky, but it's a lot darker than what you would think. iPhones are really good. Have a bit of a wander. Well, you're not going to believe this one, folks. I sat in my tent, I'm just having a bit of a sort out. I haven't filmed that, you've seen it a million times. Guess who was coaching this, they look about 9-10-year-old footballers. Roy Keane, captain of Manchester United, or ex-captain, when I was big into football. And I got to know him a little bit. So I went over. He doesn't like to be disturbed. You know what Roy Keane's like. You know, don't hassle me. But anyway, I had a chat with him and I said, any chance of you coming over? Sitting in front of the tent, just answering a few questions. He said, all right, I'll do it. Amazing, in my worst Irish accent. So we've got Roy Keane. We've just got to wait for him to finish up with these kids, about 7:45, he said. And then he's going to come over, which is going to be amazing. Got some questions to ask him. We'll keep it sensible. I don't want to make him look stupid. And I'm going to be sensible as well. So, brilliant. Let's do it. That's him over there. He's just finishing up. He's got a coaching session till 7:45, and then he's going to come over. Amazing. Now this was going to be like a silent video, bit of music, bit of cooking, but I can't resist that opportunity. He said he'll come over, so I'll do a bit of talking on that one. Why not? Bit of a kind of mixed video this. I love it. So first of all, Roy, let me say thank you so much for dropping by. I really appreciate it. This beautiful forest and these beautiful sounds. I really appreciate it, mate. Thanks very much.
Thought I'd take a trip up to see you.
So, how are you doing these days? Haven't seen you for a while.
Not too bad.
What are you doing in your spare time? Bit of stealth camping? Bit of following the steed of transit camper?
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
I mean, well, anyway, beard looks good. You look trim. You look smart. You're in pretty good shape, fella.
Obviously, I'm a lot older than when I was playing.
So I've got to ask you, mate, there's a YouTube channel called Camp Like a Boon. Do you ever watch it? Are you interested?
No interest.
Well, he'll probably be a bit upset by that, Roy. He's a very sensitive soul.
What a baby. What a big baby.
Well, I think he might retire. He might retire from the game now that you've shown no interest there, mate.
Baby.
I'm serious. He's a very frail soul. He is.
Just get on with it. Don't be such a baby.
Yeah, he is a fragile soul. I think I've got a photo of him somewhere. Let me just... what do you think of that photo?
Well, that doesn't look real. Is that real? You know, it looks ugly. That looks ugly.
Oh.
Looks ugly. I couldn't get my head around it.
So like myself, Roy, you're staying in pretty good shape. It's got to be said. I've already said it. How do you stay in good shape? Like myself, you know, how are you looking so trim and looking so good?
Decent diet, and I do a lot of walking, and I kind of look after myself, but it's not fitting. I've no motivation to go running, or I had all that when I was a player.
Yeah, I kind of agree with you. I don't do a lot of exercise anymore, to be honest. I think the last time I ran, like properly ran, was when I think I was about 13.
When I stopped, I had no desire to go to gyms or...
Yeah, and
So when I stopped playing, I just thought, that's it.
Like, I don't go to the gym either. I can't be bothered with all of that.
Yeah, don't drink, don't smoke, don't do drugs, and I don't sleep with other women.
So have you got any bad habits?
Chocolate, I love my chocolate.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I've, no, all good, yeah, try and look after myself, and yeah, why not?
Yeah, kind of agree with that. My bad habits are, I haven't got many. I don't really move in the daytime once I've got up. Sleep for quite a long time. I like a vape. I do vape a bit. I'll have a Guinness. I get through probably a litre of whiskey every couple of weeks. Apart from that, I think I managed to stay pretty fit, really. Yeah, so I was hoping to bump into you, Roy. I've seen you training the lads, and I know you do that session, and we're not going to display it on here, what time you're there and things like that, or kind of where we are. Some people will know, but do you find, looking at some of your interviews, do you think you're a bit of a guarded person? You try and keep your private life kind of private, and, you know, you're not actively in the media, really? I know your daughter runs your Instagram, but would you say you're quite guarded?
Of course, yeah. It's a different life I've got. Yeah. I think you do have a guard up. You do have to be wary of who you trust and what you're doing. And when I'm doing the games on the television, obviously that's my job, and I take it seriously. I've always been serious about football.
So do you find that, you know, this kind of general public, they're a bit intrusive? You know, they want to be your best mate and all of that. Do you get a bit of that?
No, you just have to be wary of people crossing the line with you. Because what happens is, you know, if you're in the public eye and people think they get to know you, and all of a sudden they don't know what boundaries they have with you, then yeah, you have to let people know where that line is, because people are quite happy to cross it.
So you've had a brilliant career, and I followed Man United for years and years. Nothing much in the last 20 years, because I think British football is just poor now. But there's just too many foreigners. It's just been over-influenced by, you know, foreign players and that, but that's just my opinion. When you played alongside the likes of David Beckham, Ryan Giggs, you know, the kind of flashy players that were always in the social media, did you ever kind of miss that and want a bit of that? Did you ever get involved in that and think, you know, I want to be famous, and kind of strut your stuff a bit?
I played football. I never chased any sort of plaudits from anybody. I knew I was very lucky. Looking back on my career, I certainly wasn't as good as people make it out. I was always involved with good teams, so I was very lucky. So I never needed to chase that, I suppose, the plaudits from the public. It never interested me.
Yeah, so is your career built on luck, or do you think it's down to genetics? Do you think you know, like we say, people are born evil? Do you think you were born to be the captain of Man United and have all that success over those years?
You talk about luck in the game. I did the luck I had since I was a kid.
We've talked a bit about your upbringing, and we're not going to include everything on this because I want to keep it reasonably short.
I've obviously come from a good background. Obviously, I'm a Keane. My mother's a Lynch. Growing up in Cork, sport, of course, a great sporting city.
But do you think it was anything to do with your upbringing as to why you know, kind of got this tenacious attitude to be a professional?
So I came from good stock. I had a good DNA. And where I grew up in Cork, Mayfield, I opened my front door. There was games going on, whether it be hurling, football, soccer.
So was it rough, would you say, where you lived in Ireland?
No, I wouldn't use that word, no. Rough.
So if you're taking your family back there, what do they think? Do they think it was a kind of rough place to be brought up, or?
Sometimes when my kids were a bit younger, I'd obviously bring them back from England, and we'd have a little spin up round to where I was obviously born and reared, and they'd be a bit unsure.
Yeah. So do your family play football?
As I said, even when I was younger, my brothers played sport, all my uncles, and my dad. I was born to be involved in some sort of level of sport.
So I would describe you as the kind of footballer I want to see. You used to get stuck in, take no messing. If you got tackled, you took a bad tackle, you weren't rolling around on the floor like we see. You're up. You know, you just used to just get stuck in.
I was very, very lucky.
Yeah. So you were never afraid to make a good hard tackle. Did you have lots of injuries? I can't remember you having many injuries.
So when I played on the edge, which I had to play on the edge, because if I didn't play on the edge, I would have never made it to England. And with that, there's going to be a cost. There's going to be red card. There's going to be injuries. A lot of my injuries happened in training, just by, I always say, you train how you play.
And with journalism today, I've got to ask that question. What makes you cry? Do you ever cry, Roy?
No. I think the only time I really cried was when I left United, after I had a bit of a disagreement with a few people. But yeah, other than that, no, you're very much Yeah, you've heard loads of sports people say you're in that bubble, you're in the zone.
See, I always remember that pinpoint concentration you used to have when you lined up in the tunnel ready to come out at Old Trafford. You were so focused, so focused.
I always say I was in the zone. I used to always say to people that didn't quite understand it, I was going to war every week.
So what you're spending, I know you do the coaching with the kids here. I'm not going to say where it is. But what do you do in your spare time nowadays?
I've got great freedom. I answer to nobody. I come back to Ireland when I want. I do a little bit of TV work. I do a few matches. I work for a couple of good companies. I turn up and give my opinion at the matches, and I go home. I was lucky with the career I had. Biggest challenge, I suppose, for a lot of sports people is when your career's over. As I said, I was 34, and then really my challenges started then. What do I do with myself? How do I keep busy? How do I look after the family? How do I look after my few bob? No real stresses in my life, you know, it's all good.
Brilliant. So going back to football, the perception is that you would have been an angry coach, always shouting down the players, a hard man. Would you say that was the case?
It depends. Depends how the game was going, what mood you were in, what you felt the players needed. Sometimes it is, you have to obviously have a go at them. But sometimes then it's a case of, look lads, you know, just liven up. It depends. You smell what's going on in the dressing room, what you think the players might need.
Yeah, interesting. So what players influenced you throughout your career? The ones that you actually played with, I know there's others that, you know, you weren't in the same team, but what players influenced you that you actually exposed to?
Stuart Pearce, Des Walker, and Nigel Clough. Throughout my career, I've had great examples. Senior players, you've probably heard it many times before. Senior players at your football club are massive. I was drawn to the players as well who had a bit of an edge, of course. And that would include people like Brian Robson, Paul McGrath, these lads, you know.
And going back to sort of pre-football, what was your favourite subject at school?
No interest. Mad for the sport. Again, I was one of them kids who looked out the window every day just thinking.
So like me, you didn't enjoy school. Yeah, I don't blame you.
Get me out here.
So famous footballers in the past, in the 60s, we had George Best, loved the women, bit of a womanizer. Did the women play a big part in your kind of career? Were you chasing the women?
I wasn't really wanting it. Do you know what? When I was younger, I was more going out with the boys and having a drink. The women wasn't a big thing for me, I have to say, at the time. So yeah, I was more I'd more have a night out with the lads than kind of chasing the women, really.
So very famously, do you remember the Haaland incident, that Haaland tackle, where you injured this guy, quite severely injured this guy with that knee-high tackle, as we would say?
I don't think he was injured.
Oh, you surprised me there. Perhaps my memory's playing tricks on me.
You seem surprised.
Oh, I got that wrong then. Yeah, I must have got that wrong.
Well, he played 3 days later for an international. He played for his, but obviously that's.
Yeah, okay.
Why let the truth get in the way of a good story?
Yeah.
He played 3 or 4 days later. He was fine.
So, like you say, you don't miss the football. You're enjoying being retired. How old were you when you finished? 34, something like that. Yeah. So you're doing other things. You're doing a bit of football. It's all good, isn't it?
Happy as Larry.
Well, it's been an absolute pleasure talking to you, Roy. I can't believe that we've sat down here and just had a little 10-minute chat about Man United, and that you've come over from, doing your bit of coaching there. Camp Like a Boon's probably not going to be over the moon with, what
It's really difficult.
What you said there, but hey, thanks for sitting down with me. Thanks for sitting down with Steve the Transit Camper, and for watching my YouTube channel every time I release a video. Roy Keane, thanks very much.
Nice to see you. What are you doing?